It was all
Yeah.
right.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to my mostly Wednesdays, not all, but most, to try. Will you give me a reading? My name is Jenna Matlin, and I'm a pro reader. And every Wednesday, we are here doing all things cool and all things tarot. I have a very special guest with me today. I have Miss Amber Highland, who
Hello.
is and what is your official cartomantic, like what is the
My
official title?
cartomantic title, okay,
Yes.
publisher, owner, and editrix.
Thank you. Thank
Executive
you.
producer. Yeah,
So
yeah.
Amber does the Cartomancer magazine. Is it quarterly? Right? Is it
It is
quarterly?
quarterly. Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
a quarterly magazine that you can get in hardback or flat. What did you call it? Flat versus
Well, right, what I have right now is the flat proofs, but so you have the printed copy, and then we have the e-zine versions.
wonderful. And so yeah, so we were going to talk about it. I know that, I mentee a lot of readers that are either wanting to go pro or leveling up their pro-ness, and in terms of trying to establish themselves with their, as a local expert. And one of the great ways is you write articles and you show people your chops, and also bring some of your magic to the table. So we're just going to get
Absolutely.
right into it. Amber, thank you so much for coming online today. It's so nice to actually meet you live in person.
I know. I feel like we kind of known each other because we kind of connected in some online classes, and then of course you just wrote for us, and that's super special. Thank you. Um, so yeah, but this is wonderful to actually get to like talk to you live and be
Yeah,
here. So thank you for having me.
oh my gosh. Yeah, no, thank you for coming on. And hey, Callie, and those of you that are tuning in live, you're more than welcome to chime in with any questions as we go along. So, yeah, so I feel like the Cartomancer magazine, and correct me if this is wrong, is this really the only like super just only tarot based publication in the US?
In
Um,
the US, yeah.
mhm.
Yeah. We do have access to like the esoterical, and then I think it's tarot. I think it's the Tarot World or Tarot, the one that Lo Scarabeo puts out, which is a whole different kind of thing. It's not quite a magazine. But yeah, we are the only one specifically for tarot and divination in the US. And so it's not just tarot. I don't want to scare people away. They're like, oh, I can't read tarot. I shouldn't get the magazine. Or, it's not that. All right. We go into all aspects of divination. Like we like to say, all the mancies. And metaphysics and the esoteric. There's witchy stuff in there. So you're going to find things with flower essences and essential oils and palmistry, and we just have fun. We have a lot of fun.
So it's tarot and plus more and more all the other cool things that tarot aligned people are probably also aligned with, right?
Yes, yes. And it's empowerment. We want to make sure that as people are reading the articles and going through the magazine, that it's an experience for them. They can interact, they can work on the spreads and the different projects that are presented by the authors.
Mhm.
And then they can go back, and it's a reference point for them afterwards. So, yeah.
So so maybe this is starting off with a hot take kind of question, but why a publication? Why a quarterly publication? And how is that different than someone just like Googling around and like finding something? You know what I mean?
No, I think it's a really good question. In this day and age where people can, just Google or ask Siri or something, um, there's a difference. Those are very generalized responses to input that you give the machine. What we're coming from is someone's very personal experience with the tool that they're using, or with the craft that they live on a daily basis. And it presents a very welcoming and accessible gateway for people that are just starting out. It's not intimidating like picking up, a 300-page book about how to read tarot. This
Yes.
can bite it off. It brings it in small chunks and makes it very personable. We've got articles from everybody, all walks of life, all levels of experience and knowledge. So it makes it very relatable for the reader. And to do it quarterly, we release them seasonally. So usually on the solstices or the equinoxes is about when they start hitting people's mailboxes and inboxes. And to do it that way, we're walking through the seasons. So as the seasons change, there's different thoughts and opinions and energies that run through our communities. And then those are reflected within the pages of the Cartomancer. And it's a great way, it's a great piece of history because it's a documentation. So people who are into history, the history of tarot, the history of divination or metaphysics, you'll get that through the Cartomancer as well. This past December, what we called it our legacy issue. And it was a big issue. And we did a lot of background about Stuart Kaplan. Rachel Pollack wrote for that issue, and Sasha Graham. And it was just a huge celebration of the divination and metaphysical community.
That sounds really great. And what I'm also hearing is that there's a lot to be said with like you're curating content to really fit the moment or fit the feeling of the season in a way that if you're just like randomly looking around with YouTube or whatever, you're not going to be able to like really have that kind of curated content that's subject focused within the piece. Is that right? Would you say that's
that is a great way to look at it. For instance, this year, each issue has a theme, and this year we kind of have an overriding theme. We're going through the aces, through the fours, and then each suit. So then everyone's articles just kind of revolve around those themes and those energies and the correspondences. We have Eileen Halverson writing about how to incorporate what's going on with, so say like the threes. So she's concentrating on something about the energy of the threes and then how to bring those aspects of collaboration and then creating like maybe an herbal blend or an essential oil blend that she gives the recipes that you can create that'll help you bring those energies to the forefront during this time. And I think that beyond just a random, anybody can pick it up, it's very good professionally as well. It's a professional journal. It's an academic journal. So it does become a huge resource that people can keep on their shelves and go back to time after time. And our industry doesn't have something that is like a professional journal.
Yeah,
that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, that's actually going to brought me to a question I had in mind, which is like, do any like higher ed places is there a place where the Cartomancer is going so people like can have access through interlibrary loans, or it's a resource material for whatever someone's doing academically? Is that part of it too?
I actually have had some conversations with a few universities that are looking to have copies on their shelves, or at least the digital versions accessible. And that's very exciting. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but it's there. And I'm thrilled about it. It just kind of gives me chills to think about that. Our industry has gotten to this point where, universities want us. Not only are they, people like Mary Kay Greer, they pave the way for people to present and teach classes of metaphysics and divination, tarot at universities. But now these universities are opening up, going, yeah, we want some more of that on our shelves.
That's awesome. I love hearing that. I think it should be a resource because, I've actually run into people that have done like dissertations on tarot in many ways, but there isn't always a lot that's available to them from a resource perspective. So this would be such a nice thing for people coming up from an academic perspective for tarot. So I have another question for you. I think that there could be like an intimidation factor. Like who do you want writing and submitting articles for Cartomancer, and what advice can you give to someone who might want to but isn't really sure where to start?
Yeah, really, anybody, if you have an interesting perspective or something you feel is unique in the way you read the cards, or the way you interpret a certain card, or the way you read the runes. Maybe you read the runes slightly differently than somebody else does. The Cartomancer is a great way to begin expressing that and sharing that with other people. And you don't have to have a lot of writing experience. Myself and my team of editors will really support you and help guide you, because we want to lift everybody up, and we want to better people. And sometimes, even if you're just learning something for yourself, if you start writing about it, that helps the learning process for you. So if we can help you formulate your words, you're actually going to learn more about what it is that you're trying to write about, and make that really a part of yourself. And all I can say is just do it. Just send an email to me, editor at thecartomancer.com, and just give me a pitch. A few lines. It doesn't have to be a full paragraph, but just say, "Hey, Amber, I had this idea. What do you think? Would this be something that could flesh out into an article for the magazine?" And if you've never written before, I say try to keep them around 750 words. So it's not overwhelming, but it's still a nice amount of content for somebody. And if you are a seasoned writer, just remember that writing for a magazine is a totally different beast. You want to be more succinct, more direct. You want to get your point across quickly for people. So you're not going to have 10 or 12 chapters
Right.
to explain something. You need to get it done quickly and clearly and articulately. And deadlines. That's the big thing. We have strict deadlines. Our production is, we all have other jobs, other professions that we have to manage on my team. And so in order to do that, we need to keep very strict deadlines. And also we've worked into that because there are the delays in publishing. There has been a paper shortage. There has been shipping delays. So we have to budget all that time into there, because we can get everything to our printer and our printer will be like, okay, ready to go. And then they'll be, hey, there's a delay getting our paper and you have to wait. You have to get in the queue because all these other people have to get their projects done before yours get done. And there's, they really try to work with us on that. But sometimes we just, there are things that are out of our control. We do the best we can.
Well, there's so much work that goes into creating a zine, whether it's on with PDF or like the actual physical copy. And what you guys do is so beautiful. So if you don't mind, I would like to screen share and show people how pretty, like really, really pretty the Cartomancer is.
Thank you. I have,
yeah.
we take pride in that. And, that's hats off to our designer, Saphira Stone from Space Dragon Designs. She gets it. She understands our aesthetic and she works with us. And I love it. One of my favorite things is procuring the covers.
Yeah.
Losing them.
I make this cover.
But
Fox is one of my spirit guides, and I was like, this cover really talks to me, man. I'm like all about it.
The Ace of Wands. So this is, starting off, this is our spring issue that came out in March. And so it was kicking off the year with the aces and the suit of wands. And pretty. That image popped in my head right away.
Yeah. So gorgeous.
Tarot. Yeah.
And also for people that are deck creators of book writers, this is also a place for them to kind of toot their own horn and let people know, hey, I've got this awesome thing out here if you want. So people can advertise here as well, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Ooh, Rockpool Publishing. And I like this, like, right. Like as a pro reader, I'm busy, man. Like I don't have time just to scroll through social media all day long to see who the hot thing is, the hot deck, the hot book. So I'm like, I like a curated, like, here's what's coming up. Here's kind of word on the street. This is kind of hot, right? I like that. Just come to me and show me what the awesome things are, because I often just don't have time. So for me to have like a one-stop shop, like look through what's going on here, what's happening in terms of what's being created in the community, is just fabulous. And then we have your, what would you call this? Like editors.
It's the editor's letter. It's the introduction for the energy of the magazine and what you're going to feel and get, that's kind of binding that particular issue together. So Chris, this one with the wands and aces, this is all about starting those sparks, getting the sparks going.
And I see that in your letter here, you say that the Cartomancer is in its 8th year of publication. Like I know you took it over. What year did you take it over for?
It's just about a year now. I took it over in 21. So yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow. I thought it was longer than that. Okay, cool.
I know. It feels because I was executive editor for it for a year before I bought the magazine.
Okay, that makes sense. So how's your first year been going? How's it going?
Amazing. It's just, I have such joy doing it. I mean, there are typical frustrations sometimes, but I just love it. I absolutely love it. It's a passion. I tell people the magazine talks to me, you know.
Yeah.
Lets me know where it wants to go and how it wants to present itself. Hey, Tide, aren't you talking about that?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the other thing too, is like conferences and stuff that are happening in the US are often in these newsletters. So if you're not super, I think this is amazing for people that are like, you know what, like I'm not super active on social media. Like, like I'm trying to like do some work-life balance or trying to like get off screens. Like this is a break where I'm getting all the information I need, but it's a break. I can take this out on my hammock and just kind of like read through it and enjoy it. It's more of an experience.
It
Which is
is.
what I like about it. But yeah, like look at
Thank
that. You
you.
have like what's coming up, and then you have like all of these awesome uh
Yeah. And we have an events page
articles
on our
and
website too. For those people that do pop on online now
Mhm.
and then. We do have an events page, and we try to keep that updated pretty well. And yeah,
Yeah, and you have like Nancy Hendrickson, so you're having like tarot authors contributing outside of the books that they do. Um, I hope this is like talking tons of people into like getting this because it's really quite amazing. Oh, look, Tarot Visions. Oh, who's that? May I? Oh, Jeremy.
Hmm.
Right. And then things for the podcast. It's just wonderful. Oh, there's Christine's. Oh, that's great. So yeah. So how do you curate these different articles? Like, are you looking for like more beginner, more advanced, or like kind of a spread in between them?
I want the spread. I want everything. I want beginner people. I want very seasoned and scholared people writing, because that's what makes our magazine so dynamic and
Mhm.
interesting. There's something for everybody. And I've had people tell me that they get things, that have been in the business for quite some time, and they'll read an article from someone just starting out, and they're like, that helped me refreshen my view of what I do. And that feels good. That feels really good.
And you got other cool things like here, space age sounds. Like I'm like, huh. All
Oh,
right,
you get to
cool.
check out Alan's music. It's really
I
fun.
will.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, you were talking about
There she
this
is.
wonderful person beforehand, and that's what you're talking about, like some little herbs, like and some oils.
Yeah.
So this really, I don't know, like I grew up in the 90s, like I mean, I came into my adulthood in the 90s, and that was really like the e-zine, the golden age of the e-zine. Was that where did you do anything back then, or like what is your like history around this kind of work?
This kind of work.
Yeah.
Probably the closest is having been a photojournalist.
Oh, wow.
But all my life, I've been the one putting together little magazines and newsletters, whether it was for the
Mhm.
school or I grew up Catholic, so it was for like the local church or something, um, and then covering local news, and just share. I love sharing information with people. I love gathering it. Absolutely love curating and just creating this melting pot that then everybody can just take a nice big scoop of and just savor at their own pace. And
I love how every like article has its own background, its own vibe, so you can just take the pieces, like you're like, oh, I only have 10 minutes. And then it can be a standalone article. Um, do you have, so it's mostly in the US, but do you have readership internationally as well?
in 29 countries.
Oh my God.
In
That
print,
is,
and that's print and digital subscribers in 29 countries. It's so exciting.
what's the most unique country, if you don't mind my asking?
um Malaysia,
Oh, cool.
Vietnam. Yeah, Vietnam, I think, is the yeah, for me, I was pretty impressed with when I saw that show up. I was like, hey.
You're like, "What? That's so cool." Oh, this is so funny. The Lenormand Revolution. This was like the first Lenormand deck I ever got.
That's
Was
it.
Carrie's deck.
Aries,
So
yeah.
yeah, you're talking about Lenormand. Oh, you've got Amy and Monty on here.
Hmm.
This is wonderful. So I have another like maybe provocative question. What was like a lesson or challenge point? What was something that was like a big challenge or lesson as you've taken this magazine on over the last year?
Really, honestly, it was really stepping into that faith in the universe. That everything would just go smoothly and fall into place, because sometimes those deadlines are getting close, and I'm not seeing like the articles coming in like I thought they would be, and I'm just like, ah, and then all of a sudden, then my inbox is just flooded like in 2 days. But yeah, just being able to relax into that,
Mhm.
and allowing the voice of the Cartomancer to come through. And
Oh.
yeah, I listened to an interview with Barbara Moore, and she actually spoke to that point about some of her writing, how she lets the spirit of that project, that voice, come through and talk to her. And I'm
Oh.
like, oh, I'm not the only one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really a beautiful way of putting it. Really we're all just like midwives to what needs to come through, what wants to
Right,
come through,
right.
and
The
it has its
magazine
own
has
life.
its heart, and it lets us know. And again, that's something that Saphira, our designers, has been able to tap into also, and that's why they're just the design of them are just beautiful.
So, another interesting question, is there anything that maybe you've gotten as a submission proposer and you're like, "Oh, we can't. Oh, this is not in alignment," or "I don't know if I can use this."
Um, Not so much that, but I have had conversations with people, and it's just what we want to, how much of a voice or how much of a toe we want to step into pools like
Mm.
um, cultural appropriation, because that's just
Mm.
so huge, and that is such. It's not that we would shy away from those conversations. However, it's just not the place to fully do a topic like that justice within the
Mm.
pages of the magazine.
Mm. Okay. Yeah, so you're like, "Ooh, that's a hot tamale. That may not be where we wanna head." And I love this that there's a lot of other businesses and people who are sharing that they're
Right. And
open.
if people do something besides being a professional reader, those are really the ads that we want to put in, because
Oh.
otherwise it's just a bunch of professional readers reading about more professional readers. But so you want to have that, you want to have diversity in the advertising and the resources that we can steer people towards.
Mhm. Yeah, I didn't matter of fact, I didn't know about this deck until I saw it in Cartomancer. It is an amazing deck. This, Tarot Oscuro, so
That's your,
pretty.
yeah.
Oscuro. And then we have some court by Allison Cross. I mean, Allison is one of the OG like court people who loves and really leans into court cards of tarot. So you're getting some really, really good talent also taking time to write, which is wonderful. As well as more newer names that I'm like, who's that person? I need to figure that out.
Right. And we do have, last year, every quarter, we had Spanish segments
Oh,
in
cool.
Spanish. So they were Spanish language interviews or Spanish language reviews. And
Mhm.
we also have a whole Spanish language section on our website.
Now the one thing and I don't correct me if I'm wrong, but the one thing you don't have is you don't have, a horoscope section, which a lot of, magazines
Not a
traditionally do at this
basic
point of the year.
horoscope section, but we have the Cosmic Ripples, which is Nicole Garceau, an amazing astrologer from Canada.
Ah,
And
yeah. Mhm.
so we have her section, and what she writes about is just, it's amazing, because she'll really let you know what's going on with the coming energies for the season of that magazine, but in a real world way, right? She's not just saying, oh, everybody's going to feel this way. No, she's saying this planet's happening in this, so that means we need to watch out, because it's probably going to be a really wet spring for most of us, or
Right.
so
Oh my gosh, and I
I
love how
appreciate
just inclusive and diverse, your choices are in here. I mean, this
you.
is wonderful. Look at this sweet tag. Radical Acts of Survival Tarot. Oh my gosh, it's just so heartwarming and sweet. Look at that. So, yeah, I'm gonna take this down. Is there anything you want me to show from this article? I want to make sure that I show anybody. Is there
Okay,
anything that you feel?
I'm gonna take a minute to hold up quickly some pages from the upcoming summer issue, if that's
Oh yeah,
okay.
let me take off stop
All
screen
right.
so it's just me and you.
All
Here, I'll
right. So
even
there's our cover for summer. Can you see that okay? I'm like,
pretty.
yeah, yeah.
Who
Beautiful,
does the
beautiful.
covers? Is it the same person or no, what's that
No,
cover of?
this one is from the artist. She goes by Jane
Oh,
Estelle Trombley, and it's from Arto Tarot, ARTO Tarot, which is now out of print, and she passed away in 2013.
oh wow, I see.
But I knew I wanted Two of Cups as the cover for the summer issue. and I love this image. And we were able, actually, Jen Sankey was able to track down her husband, who gave us permission to use this, and he wrote a beautiful piece about her artwork and her process that appears in the summer issue. So that was very exciting.
Well, yay, Jen, for doing the sleuthing. Good
Yeah,
job,
but
Jen.
here's like the inside contents page.
Pretty.
And then we've got an interview with Paula Palmer, who is the creative director over at US Games.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Now this one
really well thought out. A little bit of everything. Anything you can imagine.
You might really like this one.
Oh.
Excuse me. This is the flat proofs where we do a lot of our little editing squiggles and notes and things. So that's why weird marks on it. But that's yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I didn't check this out.
Ooh, from playlist to tarot tool.
Yeah, it's taking your favorite playlist and how to turn that into the lyrics from those songs, how to turn that into tarot, how to help read your tarot deck using those lyrics. It's amazing.
That's fun. I was thinking about, like, I haven't really gotten into reels that much, but I was thinking about doing a reel where I'm just like going through a song and then I'm just holding up the cards that I think that are following the lyrics and just like, you know what I mean? Like flashcarding it. But
yeah.
You know, that's so fun.
It'll be fun. Thanks, Marion. I appreciate that. Marion said that it was pretty.
Oh, yeah, it is so pretty.
I know she's with Esotorical, so I appreciate that.
So how much are subscriptions? How can people best find you?
The cartomancer.com or the cartomancermagazine.com is the best way to go. There's pre-sale open right now for the summer issue, and those are on sale for $14.95 right now. I think it is. Regular cover price is $17.95, and you also can get on there for digital subscriptions and print subscriptions. So,
and is the same place if someone wants to submit a proposal, they pitch a proposal to you?
Yeah, editor at thecartomancer.com, and there's also a link and contact form on our website under submissions. Just go there. It has all the information. We have a style guide, lets you know what we look for in our writing. So.
Yeah, and I want to chime in as a writer that you guys are definitely some of the most supportive like team for writers. Like, oh, just checking in, like, do you need any help or support, or here's your person and here's the guidelines, and they're very clear. I forgot to put in my advertising that someone was like, oh, this is what you need, and really like above and beyond supportive. And I just want to say to those of you who are going to be listening in later, go and pitch something. Like, you don't have to be like super tarot person. You don't have to be super writer person. You know, stretch yourself. And I know that that's sometimes difficult because in our heads, we get this place like, that's for other people, not for me. I don't know. I don't have anything. But I would say, just go ahead. And even if it's like, no, that doesn't work for us, it gets you over the hump of like, of that ask. So,
right.
You know,
Life begins at our comfort, at the end of our comfort zone. So just dive into it. Just push the boundary. We're not big, scary people.
No, very, very fun. And like I said, if you are wanting to go pro, I mean, doing articles and stuff like that is a way of really starting to establish yourself as a content expert. And we always need new voices. So please don't be shy. Jump on in. The more, the merrier. So thank you so much. We are going to head over to Instagram, where we're going to kind of run through similar stuff for the other audience. But if you guys are here in YouTube and you want to follow us over, you're more than welcome to. Once again, everyone.
Posse.
Oh, yeah, the posse. Amber, thank you so much for coming on here with me today and spending time. And once again, I'm Jenna Matlin. This is Will You Give Me a Reading? And I wish you guys a great week. Next week, I have Madame Pimita and her Baba Yaga's Book of Magic, Book of Slavic Magic. I don't have it in front of me. But it's an amazing book. I have it. It's just like a book that's built for, like, this is going to be a resource for your life. And that's going to be on the 18th, everyone. And then on the 25th of May, I and V, your tarot BFF, we are going to be doing past life readings with Lenormand. So you want to be half of that. All right, guys, have a great week. And I'll see some of you over on Instagram.
See you soon.
Bye, everyone.